Yo, what's good guys, VENM here, back to the video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys one of my favorite defenses in Madden 21. It's going to be a zone coverage defense. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for it. Man coverage has been the move these first 2 weeks that the game has been out, but a lot of people are finding man coverage beaters, and it's not a every down defense. Man coverage, you want to mix in between man and zone. You want to give him a man coverage look, then he goes to a man beater the next play, and then you give him zone. That's the way you play defense this year. You can't give your opponent the same look twice in a row or he will beat it. Obviously, unless you're playing a pretty bad player, then you can sort of do that. But I'm going to be in the dollar formation here out of the Chiefs playbook. I'm going to be reading an ebook on this in a couple of days. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you're not already. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. But like I mentioned, I'm bringing a Chiefs ebook, but today I'm just going to be talking about my cover 3 sky press defense. Cover 3 shells, a lot better than cover 2 this year. And I'm just going to be bringing you guys a little bit of a beginner setup to start out the video, and then later I'm going to be going over some more advanced setups, so stay tuned for that. So I'm just going to come out in the play. The formation I'm going to be mainly focusing on is bunch. Bunch is by far the most difficult formation to stop this year, in my opinion, and it's one that is just super difficult to stop, especially with zone. That's why you see people just going with a lot of man coverage, because you don't have to make as many adjustments. It's very complicated to stop bunch this year. So this first setup won't really be specifically for bunch. A couple ones later in the video will, but for this setup, all you're going to do is baseline press. Now, the reason I baseline press is at the time of recording this video, if you set up your adjustments and you're not baselined, what will happen is your zones will get messed up. So we don't want that to happen. Make sure you just baseline. You don't have to press if you don't want to, but the adjustments for this is pretty much we're going to set up a double flat. So what I like to do is all I'm going to do is just put both of these linebackers on hard flats. It's going to look like this, and then you're going to use the safety right here. If you're wondering what my zone drops are at, my curl flats are at 20 and my flats are at 5. Just a decent zone drop based setup. Again, I'm just going to snap the ball here, drag, he's going to get pushed over. We're going to use this player right here, and look at the corner route completely covered. The post route might have been open on break, but a lot of people don't like to make that throw. And if they are, they can have it. It is a very difficult throw to make this year. So again, this is sort of a good defense for spread, certain defenses like that. Again, it is difficult to use in the middle of the field this year, but a lot of people send out routes to the sidelines. A lot of people don't send out too many, curl flats from the middle of the field. So this is a defense that has worked for me, and it will work for you. So again, what you do is you baseline press. You go ahead and just put both those linebackers in hard flats. If you don't know how to do that, you double tap your D-pad to the right, you press A, you push that right stick to the right, and then you do the same for X. It'll look like this. You got a hard flat, you got a curl flat. Any corner out based plays will be defended. Now, again, this won't really work for a mesh post. That's what I'm going to talk about next. But even for a verticals type play, a lot of people will go with sort of this setup. Now, they don't really have the best thing, but maybe they just go with X on a drag, Y on a drag. Typically, they would have this player on a drag. Seahawks doesn't have it, but if they were to go with that type of a setup, that's when our defenders come in clutch on that. So pretty much what you would defend is the tight end in that case. So you'll go boom. You sort of want to lurk down on that drag, but the tight end, even if he is thrown, will get picked up by that curl flat there, which is actually nice. It is a little bit of a weird zone, curl flats this year. Sometimes they don't play completely to the sideline, but it can help out in portions like that. And obviously, you can adjust if they're going with verticals every play. So one more time, going with this setup, what you want to do is, for whatever reason, my coverage gets mixed up a lot. I'm not sure why. Sometimes the cornerback's coming out on the curl flat, and sometimes this player is, but primarily, what you want to do, just double flat like this, boom, and you are good to go. It's very quick adjustment as well, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. But obviously, if they do leave that drag on that spot route, that will beat you. But a lot of people don't even run bunch trail like that. But with that being said, let's move into mesh post. We're gonna get a little more advanced right here. Again, I'm still baseline pressing so that my zones don't get mixed up, because this coverage specifically, it's going to mess you up very badly if you do not base align, especially with all the motion that goes on with it. So for our play art right here, we're going to go with a little bit more advanced. We're going to man some people up here. So first things first, what I did is I put B in a cloud flat, and I'm going to deep half this cornerback right here. It's going to look like this. We still have the curl flat, and we still have the cloud flat, because we don't know when it's going to be mesh post or not. The next thing you're doing is you're going to man up this player right here on B. I like to move him over to sort of right there. He's going to defend the wheel route and vertical, so if they go with that, he's going to defend other routes as well as the post route. So what you want to do, man him up. Now the running back, we're going to have to man him up as well. Now typically what I like to go ahead and do is just man him up with the slot cornerback. So it's going to look like this, and pretty much you can either use your hide here or this hook curl. Primarily I'm going to use the hook curl right here, and really the only route I have to go ahead and defend is going to be that backside slant. So basically when I'm setting up mesh post, here's going to be my adjustments, RB on the slant. We're going to motion him over. You look, none of our zones getting messed up because we're baseline press, and we can safely go ahead, hike the ball right there. You see everything's manned up. Now my user just got burnt because I was using two controllers, but you see the post route's covered, the out route's covered, the wheel route's covered, the flat on the right is covered, and it is very annoying, but what you have to do is you have to leave that flat route there every single time, that hard flat, pretty much just to defend the tight end flat. It's very good, and if they catch you off guard with it, they can pick up 20 yards in an instant. So that cloud flat will be very good in defending that, but obviously you need a deep half there or you can get burnt deep. Again, the adjustments, you put B in a cloud flat, you put this A safety in a deep half, and then you just go ahead, man up that slot corner on the left on the running back, and then you man up this linebacker on that wide receiver. If you want to play a little bit risky, what you could do is I could obviously switch these. So I could go with, if I know mesh post is coming, he's running it like 10 plays in a row, I man him up on RB and I man this player on B. What this does is when they go ahead and motion him over, he will actually be cross-manned. I'm in the wrong play, of course, because I forgot you have to audible every time. But pretty much that backside slant will be pretty well covered by that cross-man adjustment. It still could get open, so you don't want to rely on that per se. But you see now he's in a cross-man adjustment. We obviously don't have any zones on the left side if you're doing this, so you have to use her with this player and defend that zone over there, which is not the best adjustment. So I like to typically just man up A on B, and then I will user him. Worry about RB yourself. Now, if you notice them, maybe he's motioning over RB, putting him on like a curl flat adjustment or out route, not a curl flat. What you do is you just go ahead, throw a flat zone out there, and then I can just readjust like this where I shade underneath so he's in a cloud flat, and then I just put RB back in his curl flat adjustment. Now in that case, you do got to user him, this player hide, but really people aren't attacking the middle of the field in mesh post. Everything will be relatively covered pretty well. It's not even letting me snap. What is wrong? Guess we're gonna have to re-motion him over. For some reason you saw Tyler Lockett, he was just like sitting still. I don't know if that's actually a bug, but I guess it could be. So we're just gonna motion snap him like this, boom, or down. Now you see that post route, it's going to sort of burn our player right there. That's just because it's a low overall player. It's like a 68 overall player on Tyler Lockett. It's going to obviously burn him. If they wait to throw it though, we still do have this outside third, which is a safety net. We still can use or hide with success. And again, obviously if they're never attacking the flats on the left, all you have to do is man them up. You don't need a curl flat over there. And I can pretty much safely run it like this, where I can sort of keep my zones on the field, and I can still user this player right here. I have good safety net over the top, and in the case that it is sort of a stock mesh post where they just keep the drag routes on the field, I could always hard flat. Again, it's very difficult to stop, but this shell is very good at defending that. I'll hop into a verticals concept next, but you see everything manned up. I forgot to put X on his out route, but nothing's really open besides B, and again that's only beating my man coverage because that's a 68 overall player. But let's hop into verticals. I know this is a little bit confusing, and I haven't necessarily ran this all that much myself, so I'm still a little bit new on the adjustments, but I just ran this last game against someone running bunch and absolutely torched them with it. That's why I'm bringing you guys this video. So here we are in verticals. So verticals is going to be very easy to stop with this because you're manning up A on B, and really what they're gonna do if they don't have this running back with his adjustments, they will probably just block him and go with something like this. So this is a very popular thing. So really the routes that's going to be open might be that deep route. We have our curl flat set, so we don't have to worry about that. If you notice him running verticals a lot, Here's what I would do with my adjustments. I would just go ahead, pretty much man him up. And you really, if he's running verticals, you don't have to worry about the hard flats. So I'm going to go like this, and then just either man up this player on A or just user him. The dig route will be covered, but if I want to guarantee in covering every single route, this is what I would do. I can just go ahead, hike the ball here. You see, I worry about that. I cover it, and then I lurk down on the dig route. Everything completely locked up. We get the pressure now. Really, the worst thing about this defense is going to be the pressure, just because you're only rushing 3. The Bills don't really have anybody too good on the O-line, so take that into consideration. But again, if you see them going with verticals, maybe they mix it in. They go with something like this. In that case, you have to double flat. But again, it is really difficult to defend, and if you're worrying about, double flatting, what I would do is only have one flat on this side over here, and I would just go ahead, play a coverage like this. And then obviously you can man up whoever you want like this. This is probably your best bet to defend. And again, I could always use the safety because not too many routes will burn that safety over the top. But look at the coverage, very solid, and you see we get the pressure. So I just gave you guys a couple of setups out of this. I know that it was probably a little bit confusing for you. It was a little bit confusing to talk about, but bunch is very difficult to defend, and that is why it's one of the best offenses, because you can't give them the same setup. So I just gave you guys a couple of setups. Let me know in the comments if this worked for you, and let me know which other videos you want to see. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. Link will be in the description, and peace. I'm out of here.